Very good morning to students. Today we are going to learn about a method of working coal and part of subject coal mining, various methods of extraction techniques. Uh, this is a method of working coal subject. The topic today is board and pillar. And pillar mining. This is one of method topic in which mostly design of pillar, also development your subtopic of subject. Well, we know that my name is Karana Kumar, HOD mining. Well, for our introduction part, we know coal mining is a term that encompasses the physical extraction or the removal of coal from the earth surfaces. When coal is used as a fuel of power generation, it is referred to as a steam or thermal coal, while those which are used to create coke for steel manufacturing, some metallurgical purpose also. Most surface and underground utilities can be extracted as a form in the soil, rock covering, mineral deposits are removed. Surface mining carried out when the deposits are found closer to the surface. So underground mining is carried out when the material deposits are located at a distance or beneath the ground to be extracted with the surface mining. So most of the underground coal mines are due to the land acquisition problems. Uh, Shallow depth, even shallow depth is available. Most of the deep mining also in the modern pillar is going for extraction purpose. History of the coal. The archaeological evidences of the using coal is a funeral palace in the Bronze Age, some 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. Can you imagine? The coal formation is not today. Coal was mined, Colonial American, in early 70s, and commercially mining first occurred around the 1730 in the middle of the Virginia. Coal cutting machines were invented in the 1880s. Before the invention of coal was mined from underground with a pick and shovel. In 1900, 95% of the world commercial energy was derived from the coal, 4% of the oil and gas, and less than 1% from the hydraulic sources. With the evidence of the oil in the present centuries, the industrialization nations of the world become more and less than 1% of the hydraulic sources. So, oil present century, the industrialized nations of the world become more and more depending on the oil for their needs, and the share of the coal to meet the energy requirement of the went down considerably. But picture again changed after the emergency crisis of 1993. The results in the unfold increase in the price of the petroleum leading to the increased demand of coal. So, with this, we can understand the need of the coal in considerations of the uh, extraction of things, depending upon the market pressure, depending upon the emergency of society. Most of in India is presently quoting only thermal only because um, so far our technology or not nuclear we are not identified so far that much of scale according to our power requirement. You observe both parallelly going. Fuel is the one of the major uh, usage of the mankind because of fuel. Fuel is a fuel is a need of the transportation of vehicle, mobiles, diesel engines, something. Coal is just particular thermal power station, the steel plants, and some other areas also we are using. So depending upon the human civilizations going on, presently go to the sun. power utilization, the solar power systems are also going. Most of the coal mining companies also establishing these things. Well, this is the basic history of coal mines. Presently, Indian conditions will take another 40 to 50 years to change mode to other source of power generations. I hope until we are utilizing the coal only, the power generation sectors is concerned. Uh, Procedure for coal exploration: study the general topography of the area. So, general study of topography of the area. Look for the outcrop of the coal in hillsides, roads, or railway cutting, riverbeds. These features indicate the presence of coal-bearing strata. Looking for fossils, which help in determining the age of the rocks, and also if the coal is likely to exist in the area or not. Resource structures and thickness of the coal seam should be estimated. Various parameters regarding the purity and rank of the coal should be tested. For example, a calorific value, moisture content, carbon content, hydrogen content, volatile content, and also so on. So this is also important factor. I think this is called as a proximate analysis and ultimate analysis of the coal. The calorific value is the most important factor for the any power generation sector is concerned. So that should be have to care when the coal selection for the particular boilers in the thermal power plants. Most of the grading and also presently quality of the coal importance also emphasized. A mine itself, their coal washeries are established and clean the coal and sending to the customers. So classification of the coaling mining methods. Uh, Classification of coal mining methods. Coal mining methods, surface mining method. This is a generally when goes to open cast mine. The strip and slice and horizontal casting systems are there. In underground mining methods, board and pillar, a long wall. Within the long wall, advancing and retreating. Surface mining methods. So of course, this is not required for this point of view, but I get gallons. I give the how surface mining methods is also increasing. Used for about 40% of coal production in the world is the surface mining only. Ore body close to the surface at the depth less than approximately 150 feet, almost 90, 60 meters, 50 meters are usually surface and mine. Coal that occur at depth of the 150 to 50 to 100 meters is usually deep mine, but surface mining techniques can be used. It is one of the open cast mining methods with a high degree of mechanization. Employs either power shovel or a combination of dragline or power source of the stripping of the ore burden. The ore burden to coal ratio may be as low as 1 is to 12 up to the depth of the 30 or 50 feet, or 1 is to 15 where the ore burden is about 90 feet. The ore body is very thin, being only few feet of when conditions are favorable, then stripping can be managed with bulldozers. When single strip shovels or single draglers are used removing the coal. The most you see in India also missing granite. Dragline methods are also applied. So extraction of the coal deposits from the surface of the earth and from the underground coal is most abundant fossil fuels on earth. It is a predominant use of has always been for produce heat energy. It was a basic energy source that fueled the industrial revolution of the 18th and 19th century. And industrial growth of that era and the turn supported the large scale exploitation of coal deposits since the mid 20th century. Coal has yielded its place to the petroleum and natural gases. The principal energy supplied of the world, the mining of coal from surface and underground deposits today, is a highly productive. So this is the scenario of our Indian condition, coal and Indian resource of India, where different locations are showing here. The Naval Liquid Corporation is there here. Ninth is the Singer and Coltris Company Limited in the Telangana state. This is the Singer and Coltris area. Eastern coalfields, they are located in eastern states, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh presently. Bharat Coking Coal Limited is also there. This is also nearer to the and Central Coalfield, uh, Northern Coalfield, NSCL, fourth. Western Coalfields, Southern East Coalfield, the WCL, that is in Maharashtra, near border Chandrapur and these areas. They are showing that. So most of the coal areas are established in the Godavari Valley, Gondwana Valley, this is popularly. So this part is most of the coal deposits are available. The remaining part, the most of the iron, this area is. So this most of the Coal India Limited, except Naval Lignite and Singer, remain in the CEL, Coal India Limited headquarters, with the NCL for project in Ranchi. This is a brief about the coal production and subsidiaries of the Coal India. Next, minerals are naturally occurring substances. Minerals are natural occurring substances found in the rocks, soils, sediments. Mineral deposits that can be mined profitably are called ores. They can be either metallic or non-metallic. Minerals can be classified in four categories: metallic minerals associated with intrusive ignitions. These deposits can be consist of valuable metals such as nickel, copper, zinc, lead, and gold. Metallic minerals must be broken apart and chemical processed to extract the useful metal from the mineral. At one time, magma containing the dispersed minerals was forced up towards the Earth's surface through the features. Superheated branes dissolved metallic elements, which some these cracks as they are cooled, they are sulfided. It's a form of veins. This is one type of vein for deposits formation. Veins of gold, veins of the gold, is formation in that particular slots, deposits and consolidated there. Found in the sedimentary formed from the remained living organisms that were transferred and tapped by heat and preserved into coal, oil, and natural gases. Industrial minerals, gypsum, potassium, and rock salt, found mainly in the sedimentary rock, formed in the shallow seas in a region with hot, dry climates. As water evaporated, it become more and more easily. Salt become it's a build up the layers. In some cases, you see is bread, but of course, the geological part, the salt deposits of the seashore. Structural minerals associated with all type of rocks are the product river point, glacial deposits, sand, gravel, and clay, mostly as a construction materials. So challenge is finding the deposit is a big challenge. That's the exploration part of the Geological Survey of India and Survey of India, and also after the resource identification, proved purpose. Even the company who's taken leaseholds also they need to exploration by in detail. Borehole is inside. There is the exploration division part. According to that only deep and strike and deposits reserves expansion. How many years can be able to go for open cast or underground will be known. So exploration part is a very essential part of this. The old-fashioned way of finding a mine was your prospectors with a pick and a shovel, a gold pan, a lot of luck. This type of the mineral processing technique we are using. Today, technology used, including but are not limited, exploration of geology, geophysics, and geochemistry, and satellite imagery is also. Geology is the study of a planet Earth, the material which our planet is made. So geologist is for metal mines is used, proportion is very quick, satellite image also is using. From geophysical exploration also, involving searching for the favorable mineral deposits using the physical property of rocks. Geophysics investigation, ground penetrate radar studies of the use of seismic waves to show the contrasting rock type. The selected rock clues of interesting might be then be mapped and sampled. Geochemistry also same. A positive geochemical results from the surface samples are followed by the drilling program. Because of the great expense, the drilling is only carried out when the area is very likely to contain substantial mineral deposit. Drilling produce either rock fragments or cores of rock for samples to determine whether the minerals deposits contain worthwhile concentration of what minerals. So scientists taking core samples, youngest layer, oldest layer. So this is a further exploration. We will get the youngest layers and oldest layers. So most of the deposits in this area. So this is a formation of during early ages. Deposits are buried inside the earth crust, depending upon the eruption of ignitions and metamorphic. The formations are happening. This is the exploration technique is going on. So most of the this is a depth based and is also most of Chile. Their copper mines have highest depth as well large is concerned also. 4 kilometers can possible. Usually when ore bodies lie near the surface, a large hole exposes the ore body. Waste rock ore body is removed. Second cheapest method, but the has the largest environmental impact. The cheapest and fastest method, but can we have significant impact environmental on the surface? Of course, it is part of surface mining. The ore is close to the surface of the land, but has one of the more layer of the rock that on the top of it. The mine of ore, these layers have to be taken off. This mining is done along narrow strips. The ore is done in one strip. The minerals being to be created in another strip. Next to it is a waste debt and work that you can taken off the top of the last one. And so view of the open cast mine, strip mine, problem bench is progressing. So bedrock and core seam and overburden is clearly shown here. So then come to underground mining, very expensive compared to the open cast mine. Very expensive and the most of dangerous of the three methods, but the least impact environmental on the earth's surface. Underground mining is done in the rock minerals or gemstones are too far underground to get out with the surface mine. Entering to the underground mines is by virtual shocks or by sloping tunnel. So minerals Canada and Mexico are critical. So mining process in drilling is a basic activity. Then blasting with explosives loading and hauling, transport and processing the washing is the basic activities of the any mining process. Drilling machines, the SMS, immersion, primary novels are using. You can do a shovel and rolling, front end loader, dumper and conveyor, cold washers. This open cast discuss. Deep underground, deep underground mining is needed when the coal seam are to found. To deep underground, 60% of the world coal production is mined by underground mining method, board and pillar method, longwall method, and short wall method are the most commonly used mining method. Board and pillar method of mining coal seam involve the drilling of a series of narrow headings in the seams are parallel to each other. These headings are connected by cross headings so as to form pillars for the subsequent extraction of either partial or completely. Ideal, the pillar should be square, but they are sometimes rectangular or rhombus shape and the garish surroundings. The pillars are invariably have square cross section. The method is best is suited for the flat and cool seams that is 1.23 is in thickness of the shallow depth. So most of the our core mines verticalization of supported pillar method is a petition style. Easiest method naturally supported by the methods of I think the board and pillar popular. Most of the olden mines also are popular developed by the board and pillar methods only. So other methods are also there, and underground core methods. There are the long wall method. There are two type of long wall methods of mining. Long wall advancing, it involves the extraction of the panel of coal to be worked by advancing the face forward on the wide front, leaving behind the roadway serving it. So direction of advancing facing go to the long wall method. So in case of long wall retreating, the face is retreated on the roadway given before the opening out the face, and the face is retreated backward, and the gulf is allowed to cave or it's filled. The gate roads is lost in the gulf. So this method can be employed almost in all the geological conditions throughout the. throughout the most in India, first long well was appeared in Raniganj in the coalfield in Bihar. Short wall method is also one of other method. Is a variant long wall and board and pillar method, in which the length of the face is much smaller than the normal, which long wall mining and short wall was developed to employ the use of room and pillar equipped, but which geometric simplicity and advantage of self-advancing hydraulic roof support. This method is incorporated the advantage and disadvantage of both board and pillar method and long wall method. So this is a well-known think of. So this is a popular board and pillar. This is a horizontal and vertical drivage of network is called board and pillar. The pillars are formed in center. In around the galleries are formed 3.8, 4.8 meter dimensions. For convenient purpose, the galleries will be widened depending usage of machineries. For example, here continuous miner loader or some other machinery rope bolts are working there. Feeder. So, but network is the board and pillar. The pillar and galleries are the galleries for utilizing for the traveling of purpose as well as ventilation networking purpose. Machinery movement. Next, then uh, so here see the uh, this is the dimensions because it is scientific methodology formation of pillars, not the simple way of naturally God will be looking to everything, but there should be an engineering is required. That is a major point of method. If you're going, that's automatically what is the need of engineering. So here I'm giving the is width and breadth of the a pillar. This is the width of the. This is the width of the gallery. This is called the board. That is a room or the pillar. So the pillar strength is depending upon the WH ratio. W is the width of the pillar, H is the height of the pillar. If WH ratio will be varying, automatically the strength of pillar will vary. WH is 1, the value is more than 1, it's good for the pillar strength is concerned. Basic principles of board and pillars. The development of mind by the method of working. Uh, Method of working known as a board and pillar consists of driving a series of narrow roads separated by blocks of solid coal parallel to one another and connecting to them by another set of narrow parallel roadways driven nearly at right angle to the first set. The stage of formation of a network of roadways is known as the development of a first working. and these roadways are called board and or gallery. That is a wide end is called gallery, or sometimes called board, BORD board. Basic principles of a board and pillar. When the gallery are developed, a solid block of coal is left surrounded. The gallery are known as a pillar. When the gallery are developed, a solid block of coal is left surrounded by the gallery is known as pillar. The coal pillars are formed or extracted after the development of the mine leasehold, and this later stage of extraction coal from the pillar is known as a G-pillar. This method is sometimes called the room and pillar mining. This can be better understood with the help of the following figure that is shown in this figure already given here. And also this is another sketch of the sectional view, top section. When seeing the top view, it's appearing, the pillars are appearing such a way. So entrance of the mine is shown here. This is a gallery. So these are the pillars. So we are extracting this area. We're moving in around this one. This is a conceptual area, coal seams. An applicability of board and pillar method. Board and pillar method is adopted for working a seam thicker than the 1.5 meters. So the seam should be in the more than 1.5 meter is applicable for the board and pillar because of the height is concerned, or stability of the pillar is important. This consider seam thicker than 1.5 meters is preferably utilizing for the board and pillar. A seam free from the stones or dirty bands, stone or dirty bands. A present seam can be easily disposed for strip packing and long wall advancing method or other mining methods. Seams at moderate depth, seams which are not gassy. So this is also because of bone and pillar have a number of openings, so that easily accumulation into various areas, so that and also moderated depth, because of if load is more, pillar will be crushed inside. That challenge is there. So seam which are not gassy. Seams with a strong roof and floor which can be stand for long period after development stage is over. Coal adequate crush strength also. So coal should be an adequate crushing strength. This is also very important point. So these six are the applicable condition of board and pillar method. One is the seam thicker than the 1.5 meter, seam free from the stones or dirty bands, seam at moderate depth, seam which are not gassy, seam strong roof and floor which can withstand coal adequate crushing strength. So why seam is a strong roof? Because of the if OB more, the bulging of floor is possible. Sometimes roof heaving is possible is there. So such thing pillar will be bulging can be possible. So moderate depth is a preferable. So design of pillar is one of the part of that one also. Classification of board and pillar. De- Develop the entire area into pillars and then extract the pillars starting from the boundary. Develop the area into panels and extract the pillars. Subsequently, panel wise, this is called the panel system of mining. So because ventilation is sluggish in board and pillar, and also this is a flexible method. Board and pillar is so ventilation point of view, and as well as natural of coal will be not oxidation fire problems. The panel system, the district system is developed. Sections are developed. So they are independent to each other. Each panel or each district have some specified method of extraction, speed of activity. We can be decide 30 pillars, 40 pillars. So whole followed by the broken working, then retreating work in which the mine opened out by the few headings of only, and thereafter development and depillaring going on simultaneously. So this is a very important in the panel system, the board and pillar. Development of the entire area into pillars and then extracted the pillar starting from the boundary. Develop the area into panels and extract the pillars. Subsequently panel widthwise. This is called the panel system of mining. Hole followed by broken working in which the mine is opened out by few headings only, and thereafter development and the three headings, five headings are also there. Two intake, one return is using sometime depending on the phase exposures of the board and pillar. So design of board and pillar working. The main elements of board and pillar workings are the follows. Size of the panel is very important, and size of the barrier, size of the pillars. So first you have to decide how many pillars in the panel. So how much size is required, and also barrier pillar to protect the if any fire accidents happening. How much strength will be, and as well as size of the pillar, whether 40 by 40 or 40 by 60, 20 by 40. The size of the pillar is also important for that, depending upon the depth. So as per Coleman regulations 217, there's a 2017 is concerned, there will be a chart is there for a particular depth, the how much size will be there. It is a gallery dimensions. So size of the panel, coming to the first point. S- The main considerations in deciding the size of the panel is the incubation period of the coal seam. So what is the mean by incubation period? Incubation period is the when the coal is open, the oxidation is caused. It may catch fire in some period. That is period is called incubation period. That is ignition period is called. It will be tested by the laboratory. The every mine have its own incubation period. The size is also so fixed. The entire panel can be extracted within the incubation period without the occurrence of spontaneous fire. The period in Indian coal fields generally varies from the 6 to 12 months, which is as per the experimental conducted and decided. The other uh, factors that influences the size of the rate at which extraction is done. When high rates of extraction made possible by the mechanization, the size of the panel can be significantly increased. The extraction rates from the deep learning districts in Indian coalfield average but 250 to 300 tons per day per panel generally utilizing. Sometimes panel sites are determined by the strata control considerations also influencing factor of the size of the panel is concerned. Size of the barrier. The width of the barrier depends on the load which it has to carry and its strength and greater depth of the working. Wider is the barrier and also softer is the core, the more the width of the barrier. In practice, the width of the barrier enclosing pillars in a panel is usually the same as the width of the core pillar, which are enclosed within the panel. In deep mines, the width of the barrier may be become quite large, up to the 45 meters, and so during extraction, they are thinned down consistency with the safety. Too much reduction in width, the barrier is not advisable. So if more width, what happen? The barrier pillar is lost in coal inside the It's a natural resource, whether you're not wasting. If any fire accident, that barrier pillars are lost in the mine. So future generation is required. So optimum size barrier is design is very important. Up to the 45 meter, and during extraction they are thinned, consisting with the safety. Too much of reduction is width of the barrier is not advisable. As is that case in the barrier may be crushed and two coves may be joined. Those encouraged safety. So this is the one complete layout of the underground powder pillar panel layout. You can easily understand this panel layout. Right? This is the barrier. This is the barrier. This is the barrier. This is the panel one, and this is the panel two. So the air intake area is coming. The intake is the written is the is also intake. The cross section of intake and air. Then size of the pillar. So above three condition, third condition you came to. That is a panel, the size of the panel, also size of the barrier pillar, and also third part is the size of the pillar. The size of the pillar is influenced by the following: depth from the surface and percentage of extraction in the first working and developed. Strength of the core seems with the weak core require large pillars, effect of atmosphere and escape for gas also influence the size of the pillar. The nature of the roof and floor. These influences the liability of crush and creep. A strong roof tends to the crush the pillar edges, while it's a soft floors predisposes it to creep, and both calls for the large pillars. The geological considerations in the vicinity of the faults, large pillars are required. Deep and presence of the water also influences. The decision is as to the size of the pillars. Time dependent strains with time the strain goes on increasing the load remain constant, and if the size of the pillar is not sufficient large, then it may fail under the time dependent strain, although initially it might to be stable. So size of the pillars may be strength of the core and nature of the roof and floor, geological consideration, time dependent strengths. These are the important factor for the size of the pillar is concerned. So also when the percentage of the time, whether take uh, so with all with passes of the time, whether that takes place which reduce the strength of the core pillar in India, the dimension of pillars and width and height of the galleries is regulated by the recent regulation is the 19 years presently changed as per the Coleman regulation is concerned presently. As per the regulations, the size of the pillars uh, depending upon the dimension of the pillar. Galleries at different depths, not exceeding 60 meters. Width of the gallery not exceeding 3 meter, 3.6 meter, 4.2, 4.82 meters. Not exceed 60 meters. The distance between the center of the adjacent pillar and shall not be less than the 12 meter, between 60 to 90, between 90 to 150, between 150 to 240, between the 240 to 360, exceeding 360. So these are the center to center distance that maintain, and pillar sizes are given in the size of the pillar is as per Coleman regulations. So what are the basic principles behind the design of pillar? Which factors are influencing? So strength of the pillar is depending on the how much bearable strength is also important. So pillars are in situ rock remain left between adjacent underground opening. Rock pillar mainly serve as a underground supporting elements in a large underground space. Without pillar, it is very difficult to ground weight. Overburden material or withstand lateral pressures in the deep underground opening. Pillar design is essential exercise of mining engineers for the estimation factor of safety for underground working during development and depillaring. The pillar is designed and carried out for both underground coal and metal mines. Conventional theory proposes that local stability ensure its pillar strength exceeds the stress placed on it. So this is a generalized standardized formula applied for the coal pillar design. So tributary concept. This is the most important concept about the Benwski is giving standardized. We is a lot of work. The life is sacrificed for the rock mechanics concern. Benwski and Kent Brown, right? And this is the tributary concept according to the concept of pillar takes uh, weight of the overlying rock up to the distance of opening width of surrounding in the figure W0 and WP or width of the opening and pillar respectively. Well, LP is the length of the pillar in the first square pillar. WP is equal to LP. So here when this rectangular pillar, that well LP into WP will take it. But in case of square pillar, it take the W square is taken as consideration is concerned. So this is a simplified formula, load on the pillar calculation. So pressure equal to LP plus WB, that is a gallery width multiplied with the WP in W. And G into H, the rho GH you can use gravitational force in the height of the particular pillar from the surface. Where rho G is the height of the rock per unit volume of the H is the depth of the pillar. The stress on the pillar, P by area of the pillar, LP, WP, WP, rho GH by LP plus WP. Where is the vertical stress? Rho GH. Another formula that work is per square is concerned. This is a standardized formula, Solomon equation. The pillar strength can be calculated by Solomon equation. That is a actual pillar strength. So that this is the pillar strength has been subject for research by maybe here the analytical formulas. An increasing numerical method use estimation of strength of the pillar based on the geometric shape, mining height, material strength. The most common feature of maybe these formulating coal pillar, this is a WH ratio, pillar strength, strength of the institute coal rock, pillar width. So based on this factors, it can be calculation. Coal strength can be determined the laboratory and in situ test. The coal strength obtained from laboratory usually larger due to the smaller size of the specimens. This is generalized attributed to coal contain natural discontinuity, which have an effect in its strength. A larger specimen size, more cracks and fractures results in smaller strength. Bedwesky performed a series of in situ tests and found in the cubical specimens in strength decreasing with increasing the specimen size and become the constant when the reach edge approximately. Uh, Coal is mean specified by represent graphic as follows. In addition, the size of effect coal strength is also found to depending on the specimen geometry. The ratio WH ratio is a major criteria uh, what is concerned. So WH ratio is a major factor for the decision of pillar strength calculation purpose. So I hope that today class you are enjoyed. Uh, I wish you all the best. Thank you. I hope basically pillar design depending upon the trajectory concept, how much load will be coming on that one divided by the Solomon equation WH ratio. So that factor safety will be getting based on the other three factors: size of the barrier, size of the panel, and the pillar strength. These three factors are very important for the board and pillar uh, designing this concept is concerned. Thank you.